It's January 1st, 2023, and we're going to go on our annual January 1st or New Year's Day motorcycle ride. You can't do it every year, but this turned out to be an awesome day today here in central Oklahoma. We're going to go over to a little town east of here from where we live in Norman to Shawnee. So at Shawnee, Oklahoma, we're going to just kind of drive around, take a look at a couple places. There's a depot over there, an old Santa Fe depot that we want to go look at that is pretty historic. It looks like an old castle. So, all right, here we go. So let's strap on your helmet, put on your gloves, lace up your boots. Let's go for a ride. Oh, I like this song. Alright, we just got outside of Norman. We're going east on Highway 9, going over to Shawnee. On the way over there, we're going to go through a couple little bitty towns. We're not going to stop at any of them, but the first little town we're going to come to is Little Axe. It's a little reservation town. And then the next town we're going to come to is Tecumseh. And then at Tecumseh, we're going to turn north and go into Shawnee. Tell you just a little bit about Shawnee. Shawnee's just it's a small town east of Oklahoma City. You can get to it on Highway 40, and there's back roads too, but it's about 30 miles east of Oklahoma City. It's in a county called Potawatomi County, another Indian name named after the Potawatomi Indians. Shawnee itself is named after the Shawnee Indians. But it's still, it's a very historic little town. It's only got about 30,000 people in it. And as we go along, we'll tell you a little bit more about its history and stuff like that. Tell a little bit more about Shawnee. Shawnee was established around the same time as the American Civil War in the early 1860s. This was designated Indian territory out here in the state of Oklahoma. The entire state was. And the first group of Native Americans that was moved out here was the Sac and Fox tribe. And shortly after that, then the Kickapoo, Shawnee, and Potawatomi tribes were brought into this area, in and around Shawnee. So there was multiple land runs in Oklahoma. And a little bit about Shawnee specifically. There's Shawnee itself, and the way that the land run evolved and turned into the town of Shawnee can be brought about not by men, but by a woman. Her name was Etta Ray, and she married Henry Beard. But anyhow, she went by herself on a land run, went into the land that's now downtown Shawnee, and she settled that land. And she took claim on that land. And from her claim, the town of Shawnee built up around her claim. So that's kind of an interesting piece about how Shawnee got established. You know, there was men involved there too, don't get me wrong, but she's kind of a prominent figure among that land run and all those figures, you know, all those people that were involved during the land run. It was, you know, back in the 1890s, it's unheard of. And here in Shawnee, Oklahoma, we had a woman in the 1890s, 1889, who owned the property and filed her own claim that later on it became Shawnee. It's interesting to hear that, you know, somebody in that time, you know, a woman at that time actually was a trailblazer. We'll talk more when we get into Shawnee. we're going to go up here and turn right on Main Street, and then we'll work our way over to the Santa Fe Depot. The Santa Fe Depot was more involved, the Santa Fe Railroad was more involved with cattle. They moved people in here too, but their main source of revenue were cattle trains in the very beginning, and passenger trains. But a very picturesque downtown area. Look at the Hornbeck Theater. All right, here's the Santa Fe Depot on the left, and this is the historic Santa Fe Depot that I was talking about. It was made out of limestone, but it resembles a castle. Very unique to depot designs. Most depots in the United States are more utilitarian looking or office looking, but this one here was built to resemble a medieval castle. So we'll stop here and get off and walk around and take some more pictures as we go. So we talked about Etta Ray and how she helped settle this territory. Well, the little bit of the story to that and how Shawnee got founded was when she married Mr. Beard. The railroad at the time was the gotta look it up here again, was called the Choctaw, Oklahoma and Gulf Railroad. That was a forerunner to the Rock Island Railroad. Well, in 1895, they approached her to build a railroad east and west to connect Oklahoma City to the coal lines, and it went through their property. So that's a little bit more about how Shawnee got founded. And but this is the old Santa Fe Depot here in Shawnee. Tell by looking at the tracks, they haven't seen a train through here in years. Everything's all rusted over real bad, but it's used to have passenger trains on a regular basis through here. And this depot served the people of Shawnee very well for many, many years. And good thing they haven't torn it down, because it's still a beautiful, beautiful building, very historic, unique structure. They're still maintaining the terracotta tiles on the top. I think it's the Pottawatomie Museum, Pottawatomie County Museum now. So it's got some money coming in, but you see this would have been where the passengers went in and out of the main part of the depot. And over here would have been where the workers would have been established, going in and out of here to work on the sections. You can see the rail here for the track mobiles to get onto the track and inspect and maintain the track. You can see the old bricks. But this is an old limestone building. Hasn't hardly been touched since it was built. It's got a lot of really neat patina to the brick as well as to the metal. Very beautiful. And of course, over here on this side of the depot, this would have been the street side, where people would have come in off of Main Street, which is down there, and be able to come in here and drop their passengers off. Looks like it was built at some time to have maybe clock towers in the top. Maybe it had a clock in there at one time, but it just might be the part of the aesthetic. Might have been part of the design, but never got built. I don't know. Very unique structure. It's kind of got a Gothic look to it too, like it's a not just a castle, but kind of a church look with all the Roman arches around all the windows and all the doors. Got a lot of really neat structure. Love that they've kept the terracotta tiles on the roof. Gives it that authentic look from when it was first built. Talk a little bit more about the depot. So a little bit about it. The depot was built in the Richardson Romanesque architectural style. The reason it was named the Richardson Romanesque style is because of an architect named H.H. Richardson, who popularized this style in the United States when he built in Pennsylvania a jail. Other notable features on this depot include the high vaulted ceilings, heavily emphasized recessed archways, and the arches over the windows and doors, which we can see right here. The depot was built for a cost of $65,000. When you look at it, it's, a couple of 100 feet long. And for this to only cost $65,000 when it was built in 1904, that's considerable. So, again, today's dollars, that doesn't seem like very much at all. But the last passenger train to serve this area was in the 1960s, early 1960s. And it was nominated for the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. And the museum, the Pottawatomie County Museum, moved in here in 1982. So this is a very, very unique building. We can come over here and walk under these arches. This is on the south side of the depot. You can still see the main beams still in place, after 120 years. Very, very historic. It's got a basement, which is very unusual for Oklahoma to have a basement built. But just this promenade here on this south side allow people to come over here and stand and sit waiting on their passenger trains. It's very, very unique, very historic structure. Would have been another entranceway for people to go in and out of the depot over here. This would have probably been where the operator agent would have been stationed on this side of the depot. Be able to hand up orders and give directions to the train crews to be able to look out here. Not much sight distance for them to be in these windows right here, but most depots have angled windows so the agent can see out when the train was arriving. But with it being in the middle of town like this, with the crossings on both sides, no doubt they would have heard the train coming from a long ways off. See if I can put the camera up to the window and see inside. Can't see much in there, but there are some pictures. You can see the high vaulted ceiling, looks like maybe about 25 feet high. Got multiple rooms, waiting rooms, luggage rooms. Go around to another photo or another window to take another video inside. It's very interesting building, very interesting style. Look. Oh, sure. Yeah, but you can't replace some of the stuff that's inside there. Wish I knew more about that log cabin. Well, we're back in Norman. This will be the conclusion of our January 1st, 2023 commemorative, I don't know how you say it, our celebrating annual. Yeah, we used to try to do it all the time, you know, especially if the weather's good like it is today. You know, when we lived in Marysville, had our Gold Wing, it was like, I don't know, 10 degrees outside, but there was no snow, and we went out and rode the Gold Wing around town for a little bit outside of town, just to say that we went out on January 1st. Kind of kicks off the year with the way we want to ride and enjoy life and experience, you know, motorcycle and being out on the open road. But thanks for coming along with us. If you don't mind, like and subscribe. If this is what you like and you want to see more of it, this is what we're planning on doing. We've just finished buying all the equipment that we want in order to have commentary as we're on the motorcycle. So, you know, if this is what you want, please like and subscribe, and we'll do more content like this probably about once a month, at least until it gets to be summer, and then we'll probably do it once a week once the weather warms up consistently, you know, starting in probably April. But until then, this will conclude our January 1st 2023 commemorative ride. Peace out. Yeah.